All right, here we go. Riding advice. I'm on my way to the SuperCon, second day, Friday, and I'm ready to talk to everybody about my books. But I wanted to get into a little bit of a personal gripe of mine as a reader, and I actually just read a comic book with the same problem that I find in novels, sort of the problem that I find in some movies that are like corny, but books and comics can sort of survive it a little bit. Probably books more than comics. It's a problem that I faced in a movie that I'm making that I had to figure out a remedy to, and I believe I figured it out. So that's not necessarily a problem, but it's the problem of action, telling action, having action, pacing your story so that way it has some action in it. I talked about writing a fight scene, and fight scenes are good, no doubt. You need those, but your book can't all be fight scenes. You need to have some drama and other things leading up to fight scenes, and other things other than fight scenes that are action. Again, you're writing a story, especially books, that has nothing but words in it, and I'm saying that because one of my biggest gripes is a story that doesn't have kind of anything going on. When I say something going on, let me see if I can move that out of the way. All right, I have shades, that's good. But when I say something going on, what I mean is more than just talking, right? You can fill up a page with a heated conversation. You can fill up a chapter with heated conversation followed by, verbal enlightenment. You can fill it up with thoughts, backstory, strategy, things like that. But I think, to me, my personal gripe is that can get really boring. I'm reading a book, and a lot of romance has these, a lot of drama stories, and that's why I don't necessarily read them, because, somebody having a shocking revelation is cool, okay? But I still want them to do something based on that. Not necessarily in the chapter, but if it can be in the chapter, cool. But if it's not in that chapter and in the next chapter, they got to do something. It's like, I don't know, like I said, I like action stories. Science fiction is not an action genre, but it is dominated by action stories. Military sci-fi, fantasy, sword and soul, or sword and sorcery. Those are genres, subgenres of sci-fi that depend on action. And so I know when I write my horror stories, I put a kill scene. How many different kill scenes am I going to have? It's not going to be a kill scene every chapter, but at the end of the day, I'm writing out all my kill scenes so that way I have something to select from. I know how to put them in order so that way they're not all being killed the same way, because that can be boring, it's not surprising, and it's stale. But action is the same way. So if I'm not putting a kill scene in a story, which is really easy to do, to pace your action, because kill scenes do require some type of action, unless you're really going to just say he was found dead and you took the readers away, or the audience away from even enjoying the kill scene, or the killing of the character. So when I write, I may write kill scenes, or if it's not a murder story, then I will pace out my action. There's got to be something going on. Even if, like I said, if you have a dead chapter, then that next, or a chapter with really little bit of action, then you want to fill that next chapter. At least for me, I know you're not writing for me, but I would like to have some action in my stories, and a lot of action. Really, I want something going on in every chapter. I mean, in my books, that's kind of what I do. I'm writing action stories, so pretty much in each one of my stories, you're going to find something action in it, and it's not, necessarily, like I said, it's not revelation, it's not deep introspection, it's not all of those, different. It's not strategizing. If they are strategizing, they're going to role play it out in their head, almost like Sherlock Holmes, where he would calculate how he was going to fight somebody, or they would remember an action, a poignant incident that would get them off their seat to finally go out and do what they got to do, but they would remember it in a very detailed action way. And the same way that you write fight scenes, it's the same way you write action scenes. Throughout the action, if you're falling down the stairs, you feel the first stare. You don't, then there's a look to you. You cock your head. Things come out of your mouth. Your body, you might recalculate. You brace for your next fall. In a falling down the stairs scene, you don't just show. You don't just say, and he fell down the stairs. That takes away like the beauty of the action of it. Be poetic with it. Allow the reader to experience some of the emotion that the person went through. And again, you don't have to do this with like every type of action, but certainly give them something to grasp, connect to. That's kind of what I want, and I like it. When I read the Executioner books, you feel his pain, you feel the bumps and the scrapes that he gets. You see the bumps and the scrapes. You're aware of what it may now affect his next movement. Now he's got a limp. Now he's got one arm, or his hand is injured, or he can't see out of a certain eye. And if you got to make notes on this on your book, if you have multiple characters, this may have happened to this character. This may have happened to another character. So you got to keep track of all of that. And hopefully you'll find a way to, every little detail you give to people becomes important. So that way, what he did when he fell down the stairs, he knows he can't do again, or she will make sure that she will cover herself or protect herself or bring this with her the next time so she doesn't fall down the stairs, or whatever it is, so they keep falling down the stairs. It's a metaphor for something else going on. Make it worthy, make it important. Everything in your story, should move your story ahead. So I don't really have, a lot on this. All I know is I read Jason Bourne books, because you don't have all fight scenes like the movie, but they do have action stories. So there's a lot going on in his story. So I definitely check out his stories for that. So if you do get a chance, Robert Ludlum, he wrote the Jason Bourne books. He's got a lot of action. And I'm not telling you the only books. I'm just telling you books that I read. I've already said Stephen Barnes, my favorite sci-fi writer, rest in peace, L.A. Banks. She had some real good action stories in hers, and she did a good blend of drama and action. So you'll see both in her stories. So probably a good book of mine, if you want to check it out, is Rashida the Zombie Killer. That book is packed full of action. There's fight scenes in there, really cool fight scenes. And then my other book is a disaster story, The Harlem Shake, and that's going to be an 8-book series. So if you do get a chance, that book is about an earthquake that hits 125th Street in Harlem, New York, and brings about the end of the world, and it's told through the eyes of some people that experience it, and the people that survive it will be part of my series. I'm writing a 8-book series of Harlem Shake, and the survivors of the Harlem Shake will go throughout the Mad Max, Road Warrior, what's another type of way to describe it? Walking Dead, post-apocalyptic world. So that's going to be a beautiful journey. So if you get a chance, check that book out. And I really didn't pitch Rashida. Let me give Rashida some justice, because a lot of people, that's like the first book they pick up when they come to my table. Rashida the Zombie Killer is after they archaeologists find Egyptian musical device, they learn that it can cure multiple sclerosis, lupus, Parkinson's, all of the neurotic diseases, ADHD, by being played. It's called the Heteru Shadi, and it means divine meditator, and it allows your body to go back to its original vibrations. It's almost like the science of stones. When you go to get a massage and they put stones of different densities on your back to kind of help your back, because we are all vibrations. So that story is about a music producer who wants to take this musical device and play it behind some of his hip-hop music to sort of bringing calmness throughout the hip-hop community. But of course, like all things, if played the wrong way, it turns people into rage-filled zombies. So Rashida the Zombie Killer is a cool book. You'll like it. It's full of action. And my other book, The Harlem Shake. Thank you very much. That was cool. I may do a whole video on just plugging all my books. But anyway, I'm getting ready for this convention, so I'm in explanation mode. So people are coming to the table and telling me. Now, this is one of my shirts that I sell. So I just noticed I was wearing it. If you can guess what it says, here you go. If you can guess what it says, email me or something. I don't know. We'll do something. I give out stickers at my tables with this logo on it. It's a way that I promote myself, and I sell the shirts at my tables, $20. But if you see me at a exhibit place, I will have shirts on me. All right. Touch base with you later. Thank you very much for listening to me vent. I don't know if it was good advice or not, but people like it. So thank you for tuning in. All right. Bye-bye.